Hey everybody, here again today reviewing UnMaking a Murderer. Today's strategy 2. Strategy 2 is conceal all your other suspects. That way they can't be pesky and turn back up and screw your case up later, right? You conceal them as best you can. Well, so that's what this chapter is about. In a lot of ways, it focuses a lot on the Penny Berenson case. Gregory Allen. I mean, Gregory Allen was up to some stuff, man. He was peeping on teenage girls in showers. He was getting bolder and bolder. He was carrying screwdrivers around with him at one point where he was slowly removing the screws, like on metal bars on women's windows, so that eventually one day he could be able to go in through the window. So, I mean, he was working towards, taking everything to the next level, which he ultimately did. The strange thing is that he peeped on this girl, this teenage girl in the shower. Parents pressed charges. They found out it was him or whatever, or they called the police. The police found him nearby and stuff like that. They never pressed charges on him for it. All they pressed charges. They basically just charged him with prowling, and that's it. And then he gets away or whatever. I mean, it's unbelievable, really, truly. How they were just like not doing anything about it. And then when the day actually came, when they had him pretty much dead to right, Manitowoc steps in and does their thing. So that's kind of what this chapter is focusing on. It also goes into the fact that there were reports that there was a lady who was sailing on Lake Michigan that day. She was not far off the shore, right at that place where Penny was getting chased, and she saw Penny getting chased. She saw the man. She described him as a man with a beer belly, but that was not Stephen Avery. She clearly had seen Stephen Avery by the point that she gave this statement to somebody, but the official statement she gave to police, missing, gone. There's no record of it. But this woman remembers giving a statement, but there's no record of it. So that's interesting. But so skimming on, it goes on to the part where you get to see three of Vogel's assistant DAs coming to him and telling him, look, hey, wait, we think this is Gregory Allen here. And he lies to him. He lies to him and tells them that he called Gregory Allen's probation officer and that Gregory Allen was in Sturgeon Bay that day. And there's no way he could have possibly done it. It was a lie. Total lie. So that's the types of things that were going on, and that's what they mean by concealing other suspects, because all of this covering up for Gregory Allen was all covering up so that they could continue keeping Stephen Avery locked up. I mean, what is the point of that? Seriously, what's the point of that? And then this guy goes on and commits more crimes and eventually does something really serious, and you can really just trace it back to the fact that Manitowoc bungled it. They bungle. They're really bunglers. Seriously. I mean, look at the Ricky Hochstetler case. I don't know if that's bungling or them covering up for their own, but yeah, crazy. But moving on. Another interesting thing is that upon Stephen's release from jail in 2003, upon Stephen's release, a report was released by the DOJ stating that Penny had been getting some phone calls and stuff like that. I mean, it seems so obvious that people knew what was going on. I mean, the DOJ knew that Penny was getting calls? Seriously? I mean, yeah. Anyways, the rest of the chapter goes on to talk about how in the Avery case, they did not look investigate into the family and friends very much. The ex-boyfriend, Ryan Hilligas, was virtually unlooked at. The German who was very suspicious. They were made aware of him. He was extremely suspicious, had done some very strange things. You'll read all about it in Shaun's book. I mean, he had some wild cherry Pepsi cans on the porch at one point. That his wife, because he freaked his wife out, and they split and stuff. But I mean, he freaked her out, and so she ended up filing a report about it and stuff. I mean, he was burning things. It's really strange. You'll have to read about it in the book, but how he was just ignored, and it talks about how Andreas Martinez was ignored, and then think about the fact that. How long did it take us to hear about Josh Redant? So, anyway, there was clearly some concealing going on of the suspects in this case, which in the end is what painted Jerry Buting and Dean Strang into a corner. They were really painted into a corner, and they had trouble defending Stephen Avery because between the lack of investigation of suspects, because they really only had one starting on November 3rd, 2 days before they found the RAV4. Yeah, on November 3rd, they had already fingered Avery. They'd already reported him to the FBI as a suspect. So, anyways, they virtually looked into no other suspects. So there was no investigation there to help Stephen's lawyers to look at other suspects. And then with Kratz, with the Denny motion, pretty much just tied their hands completely because they could not offer anybody up unless they knew that there was a motive. Which, ironically, the prosecution didn't need to prove that there was a motive for Stephen. I just find that shocking. I think, at least in a case when the prosecution is unable to offer a motive, then I think Denny should be not cool, not happening. Anyways, I don't know. That's my opinion, but it just seems like it tipped the scales very much in an unfair way, and on top of the horrible investigation that really painted Strang and Buting into the corner that they were in. It's amazing they really did as well as they did. But anyway, so that's it for Strategy 2. We'll see you guys next time for the next Strategy 3. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe.